Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans all over the world, this is Salvador, bringing you the latest shocking news from Wrestle Vault. And trust me, you are not prepared for what's coming. Picture the empire you grew up loving, the massive, over-the-top world of WWE, slowly falling apart under the weight of secrets so dark and so ugly that they make your stomach turn. Vince McMahon, the man who built WWE from nothing, is back in the news. Not for a big comeback, but for a scandal that's blowing up like a bomb, threatening to take the whole company down with it. A brand new lawsuit has landed, shaking WWE executives to their bones, exposing claims of sexual assault, trafficking, and a cover-up that reaches all the way to the very top. If this doesn't make your blood boil, if it doesn't push you to hit that share button and sound off in the comments, then nothing will. Stay with me. We're going all the way into this mess, and by the time we're done, you'll be demanding justice. This is Wrestle Vault, and the truth is about to hit harder than a stone-cold stunner. Folks, let's get straight to the point. The wrestling world is burning right now, and it all comes back to one name, Vince McMahon. For years, this man was the undisputed king of sports entertainment. He turned WWE into a billion-dollar machine, creating legends like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. But behind the fireworks and the scripted storylines, there's a real horror story playing out that is anything but fake. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the newest chapter, a lawsuit that isn't old news being recycled, but a fresh explosion with new details that point fingers at current WWE executives and shake the very ground that TKO Group Holdings stands on. Hello viewers, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Let's go back a little for context, because to really feel the outrage, you need the full story. It all started coming to the surface in 2022, when reports came out that McMahon had paid millions in hush money to bury claims of sexual misconduct. We're talking $12 million, paid out to 4 women over 16 years, based on reporting by the Wall Street Journal. That's right, settlements made to keep quiet about affairs, harassment, and far worse. McMahon stepped down as CEO for a while, then forced his way back, only to face the biggest blow in January 2024, when Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee, filed a federal lawsuit that read like something out of a nightmare. Grant's lawsuit accused McMahon of sexual assault, emotional abuse, and, hold on, sex trafficking. She claimed McMahon dangled job offers and promotions in front of her in exchange for sexual favors, then passed her along to other men, including former WWE executive John Laurinaitis and even potential business partners. The details are disturbing, folks. We're talking about forced encounters, graphic messages, and a culture built on fear inside WWE headquarters. McMahon allegedly used company resources to make all of this happen, turning the workplace into his own personal trap. And Laurinaitis, he was right in the middle of it, listed as a co-defendant. But here's where things get even worse, and the anger really starts to build. Jump ahead to 2025 and 2026. This isn't old history, it's still unfolding right now. In May 2025, Laurinaitis, the guy who was supposed to be McMahon's closest ally, switched sides like a wrestler going heel. He reached a deal with Grant, agreed to hand over evidence against McMahon, and was removed from the lawsuit. That's right, Johnny Ace, the former head of talent relations, is now talking, claiming he has proof that could destroy McMahon and WWE. What kind of proof? Texts, emails, recordings? We don't know yet, but think about the betrayal. McMahon's own right-hand man flipping against him in a civil case that already cost him his spot at TKO. And speaking of TKO, the big merger with Endeavor that created this powerhouse, that's being attacked too. Shareholders are suing, claiming that McMahon, along with current executives Nick Khan and Paul Triple H Levesque, either destroyed or failed to protect evidence tied to the merger. We're talking about auto-deleting apps like Signal, personal text messages, and handwritten notes that just happened to have disappeared. The people suing claim this loss of evidence means the merger was sold too cheap, because no other buyer would have gone near WWE with McMahon's scandal cloud hanging over it. If that's proven, it could bring massive penalties and shine the worst possible light on what was erased. Khan and Triple H, the faces of the so-called new era, possibly tied to a cover-up, that's the bombshell rocking executives today, making fans wonder if The Rock goes way deeper than just Vince. Picture McMahon at a podium, sharp suit, looking like the man in charge. But behind that image, claims that he's been dodging accountability for years. In January 2025, he settled with the SEC for over $1.7 million for hiding those hush money payments, $10.5 million paid to 2 women to silence misconduct claims. No admission of guilt, naturally, but come on, that's not what an innocent man does. Federal prosecutors dropped their criminal investigation in February 2025, but Grant's civil case keeps moving forward, with the DOJ's pause expiring back in December 2024. But wait, there's more, and this part has everyone talking. Enter the Ring Boys lawsuit from October 2024. 5 former Ring Boys, some as young as 12 and 13 back in the 80s and 90s, are suing McMahon, WWE, and even his wife Linda, claiming they knew about and did nothing to stop sexual abuse carried out by ringside announcer Mel Phillips. These kids were brought in to work ring crews and ended up being taken advantage of. McMahon allegedly looked the other way, allowing a toxic environment to take hold that lasted for decades. This goes beyond one person. It's a pattern, suggesting WWE's dark side has been there since the very beginning. And with TKO now in the picture, current leaders like Khan and Levesque could face hard questions about how they've dealt with the fallout, or whether they've dealt with it at all. Imagine being a fan who spent money on tickets, merch, and pay-per-views, only to find out the empire was built on exploitation. That's infuriating. How many people inside that locker room knew? How far does this really go? There have been reports on X, formerly Twitter, from accounts like Fightful, covering Grant's testimony before Connecticut lawmakers on NDA reform just last month in February 2026. She's speaking out, explaining how those NDAs kept victims locked in silence for years. And Ringside News is running headlines about McMahon, Khan, and HHH being accused of destroying evidence. The online wrestling community is going off, posts calling for boycotts, demands for the truth, and a level of outrage that makes you want to throw your phone across the room. Picture McMahon walking with that confident stride, but that confidence is starting to crack. Grant's story is heartbreaking. She was hired in 2019 after going through personal tragedy, promised safety and stability, only to be pulled into a web of abuse. Private photos shared without her permission, forced situations, and physical harm, all while McMahon allegedly used WWE's power and reputation to keep her from speaking up. And Laurinaitis? He was let go in 2022 when the first wave of scandals hit, but now he's on the other side, potentially ready to unleash a flood of damaging information. Now let's talk about what this all means. McMahon walked away from TKO in January 2024, right after Grant's lawsuit came out. Stock prices dipped, sponsors like Slim Jim briefly backed off, and the WWE fanbase was split down the middle. Some fans defended Vince as the creative genius behind WrestleMania, others wanted him gone for good. But with Laurinaitis now cooperating and shareholders claiming evidence was tampered with, current leaders like Triple H, who is married to Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan are under serious pressure. Is the new WWE actually new, or just the same old problems dressed up in different packaging? Think about the wrestlers. Brock Lesnar was named in Grant's lawsuit as someone McMahon allegedly tried to involve in exchange for a contract renewal. Lesnar has been gone from WWE ever since, and the rumors keep swirling. Other executives have been questioned, assistants have been subpoenaed. This is a full-on investigation tearing through Stamford. And the Ring Boys case, it brings back old horrors like the 1992 situation where Phillips was fired, but then brought back, allegedly with McMahon's full knowledge. This scandal isn't only about McMahon, it's a wake-up call for the entire world of pro wrestling. NDAs, power imbalances, a boys club mentality. Grant's testimony is pushing for real change, including banning NDAs in cases involving sexual misconduct. It's time things got better, folks. Fans, wrestlers, employees, every single person connected to this business deserves more than this. Look at that family photo with McMahon, Stephanie, and Triple H. It looks picture perfect, but the allegations tell a very different story. McMahon has denied everything, calling Grant's claims false and defamatory, but those settlements say a lot on their own. He started a new entertainment company, but with all of these clouds hanging over him, who's really going to step up and work with him? As we close out this deep dive, keep this in mind. This is breaking news, and it's changing every single day. The outrage is real. How can a company that sells itself as family entertainment have this much darkness hiding behind the curtain? Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe the allegations? Should WWE completely separate